Hey gang, this is Kay at Ecstatic Self. So one of the things I work on with a lot of my clients in my life coaching practice is about living with integrity, about being where you are, owning it, being clear about your boundaries, doing the things that you say you'll do, be open, transparent, and honest. And I like this word integrity because it really is a launching point for so much more. Because often so many of us don't only have issues with integrity and saying what we mean, but we also have issues with vulnerability and intimacy. And I think these things all go hand in hand because we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be transparent about our personal boundaries, where we're comfortable, where we give consent, where we don't. And until we can do those things, it's very hard to access intimacy and vulnerability, right? Because then everything feels permeable. It feels like people can invade you. It feels like you don't have control to say no or of your life. So I encourage everybody to start with the idea of integrity. Say what you mean to say, observe your boundaries, do what you're going to do, and live up to your expectations. Start there. And then once you do that, start watching how you engage with people. Most people, or I would go as far to say all people, crave intimacy. Now that may be sexual, it may be not, but we want to be seen. We want to feel heard. We want to feel like we mattered to somebody and we connected with somebody. And how many people varies from person to person, right? Like I'm somebody who's really happy having a small intimate friend group and then acquaintances. Other people want to have lots of friends and lots of sexual partners who they're intimate with. Varies from person to person and time of life. But even though everybody wants intimacy, so many people struggle to have intimacy because they are afraid of connecting. Because they don't have these really strong boundaries and self-truths and self-accountability inside, it's hard to really allow yourself to be seen because you're coming from a place of fear, a place of being afraid of getting hurt, as opposed to saying, I know myself. I know I can keep myself okay because I've lived up to my expectations before. I've been able to trust myself. Because I can trust myself, I can offer that to you. And I know I'll take care of myself if something starts to go wrong. But I can be intimate with you. I can connect with you because I fundamentally trust who I am. And in order to be fully intimate, I have to be vulnerable. I have to let you in physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, depending on the type of connection, maybe all of the above. But I have to let you in. I have to be consciously able to say, these are my shell walls, these are my guards. I usually have them up. In this moment, I'm providing you with access. I'm letting you in. I'm letting you affect me. I'm letting you matter to me. And again, that's very hard to do if you don't have a lot of integrity inside. Now, a lot of people think that they're being vulnerable by oversharing, right? Like they go on Facebook and write about how they got their butt waxed. That's not being vulnerable, that's oversharing. We should have boundaries about what we share and what we don't share. For example, most of the things I talk about on this YouTube channel, I would normally never share with other people, but since I'm trying to help other people grow into their comfort here, I'm talking about things I normally would never, right? Except with a very few intimate people who have earned my trust. And then we talk about intimacy. A lot of people mistake sex for intimacy. Sex is the most intimate act we can do, but a lot of sex happens without intimacy. And generally, I will say it's not good sex. Now, let me clarify that, because again, that might push people's buttons. I'm not saying anonymous sex is bad sex. You can have anonymous sex and allow that person to really be inside you and really affect you and allow them to be in and you don't even know their name. Intimate sex can be rough or violent sex or dominant or subsex. It can be anything. But a lot of people confuse, I'm going to give you access to my body and think I'm giving you access to a part of me. Because if you approach sharing your body without giving somebody your focus or your mind or your attention or your heart or your energy or your soul, there's going to be a mismatch. And then we're going to leave feeling hungry, leave feeling empty, like, okay, where's the next one? I need more, I need different. Versus if you can be really here with somebody, or a group of people, right? I don't care. Go to an orgy. Go to a bathhouse. Cool. I'm good with that. If that's what makes you excited. But can you be in the experience? You can have a tremendously intimate exchange with somebody where all you do is say, hey, how are you today? And shake their hand and make eye contact. That can sometimes feel more intimate than being fucked by somebody you know well, depending on how open and connected you are with them energetically and with the presence of mind. So this is what I want us all to encourage ourselves to start exploring. Do I have integrity with myself? Once I know my boundaries and know who I am and I know I live up to my expectations, can I allow somebody in? Can I be vulnerable? Can I allow myself to be seen, exposed? And through that exposure, can I be intimate with them? Can I allow us to have a moment of profound connection? And that doesn't mean you fall in love with them necessarily, although I personally believe that if you are intimate and connected, you love everybody. That intimacy is a form of love, because in my perspective, the energy of creation, the energy of God is love. All the churches say it, but they probably don't mean it in the way I mean it, right? When you share intimacy with someone, you are sharing love. I profoundly love all my clients. I profoundly love all of my friends. I profoundly love my husband, any sexual partner I've had. I love them. I love all people that I meet. I try to dwell in that state. And I try to be appropriately intimate for the situation and the person. I try to be appropriately vulnerable, disclosing or sharing what is appropriate for that situation, right? When I first meet somebody, my guards are generally up very high, and over time I will let them down little by little as they earn my trust. Because trust is earned over time in little amounts. And I have a high level of integrity within myself that I know my boundaries, I know I can respect it. And if I say something, I'm going to do it. And I hold myself accountable, and I immensely trust myself. So my encouragement for you, start exploring this. Be truthful, be open, and connect. And notice how your life will become so much better. Because I see a lot of people drift like hungry ghosts from one person, one partner, one situation to the next. And I think we all know those people who are constantly searching for their next score, their next high, their next trick, their next John, their next whatever. And they're never satisfied. You can be immensely satisfied here, now, with whomever you're with. But it's all what you bring to it. Make sense? Feel free to comment below. Again, I'm Kay. This is Ecstatic Self. Namaste.